Go.
Welcome to another episode of Turn Up Charlie from Netflix. We about to turn up in the studio and talk about all things that Charlie is doing, Gabby getting into trouble, and the way her parents are handling it. Stay tuned for all the dish right here.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
AfterBuzz TV. I feel like I'm kind of like, I don't know, disco-y today.
I love it.
I don't know.
It's pretty.
I'm feeling wonderful. I hope you guys are feeling good out there. I'm your host, Miss Conversation Peace, and I have my girls in the building with me. Carmen, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm feeling really good. Happy to be here.
Yes, and I know you love the episodes.
Yes, I love this show. It's a good show. At first, I was skeptical because I was like, okay, Idris in a comedy, but it works.
Yes.
It works.
And I also have the princess in the
Hi,
building.
I really enjoy this show too. It's super cute, and I'm glad to just see how each character evolves, especially Gabby. Now that she's not so bratty.
Right. Yeah, you just gotta break them in. You know, I work with kids, and I be like, get over there. And then by the time they be like, you know what, Miss Brown, you nice.
Yep.
You gotta give them some tough love. Put them in
Absolutely.
check.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, you guys, we got a nice show for you tonight. We're going to talk about just our aha moments. We have a little bit of news and gossip, and we're going to get some predictions. Well, we kind of know what's going to happen because, you know, we're kind of binging this, but we want to predict what's going to happen next episode. Are they going to have a season 2? All that type of stuff. So stay tuned for that. So give me your overall thoughts. We're doing episodes 3 and 4 today. So what are your thoughts of those two?
I thought it was good. I knew, of course, because we binged this, I knew it wasn't going to be the end for Charlie and Gabby. But I'm happy that she got to taste her own medicine. It was interesting to see what school was like for her. And I like the way things are progressing.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I also liked getting to see more of the family dynamic between the husband and wife, between David and his wife. I'm excited to see more of that and just see how their relationship evolves too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, the woman in control, because I feel like I'm an alpha female and my husband, he might take a backseat to me, and how a man handles that. He seems to be handling it well. I think he has something going on too, but she's a little more, he's like Mr. Mom in a way.
Well, when she brought up, you know, the whole unfaithfulness, but she wasn't thinking about that, but he was. I'd like to get more into that and see if we get into that later in the season or if there's a season 2. I thought that was really interesting.
Definitely. You know what's hard for me though, like looking at Idris in this way, because he's just always been like a sex symbol to me, like even as an older man, but he just looks older now, and it's like not sexy no more.
You don't think so?
This is just
I
the
like
character.
the little salt and pepper girl.
I mean, it's not just that. It's just like the dance moves. It's just like he looks like an old man dancing on the dance floor.
It is a little odd because he seems a little old to be a DJ. But I think it's good that they wrote it that way. Like, yeah, you are an
never
old
too late,
DJ.
not too.
You are an old DJ, bro. I get it.
Well,
but I mean, am I lying?
I mean, you're never too old, and I think that's part of the message of the show. Is, you know, you can always have a comeback.
So you feel like in real life, you should never give up on your dream. You should keep going till you're 60.
Yeah.
I think there's so many older actors. I think about Harrison Ford, just all the people that we didn't find. Even Idris, like he's been acting for a long time, but he kind of came on the scene relatively recently.
He's a DJ in real life too, though.
Yeah,
like he actually DJs.
Yeah, so I think,
I know a lot of artists, like they've been artists, and they kind of like Erykah Badu. She's DJ. She's older in her craft as well. So it's just like, it's one thing to be a DJ or a rap artist versus like, oh, I'm Shaka Khan and I can go on stage and sing till I'm 97. You know, like, is it a time limit on things like that, or?
I think as long as your body can handle it and you can still bring a show.
Yeah, keep it
that's all
going,
that
keep
matters.
the party going.
I think it's with your standards in life, because we all have to earn a living, right?
Yeah.
But I think as long as you have the passion for something, you should absolutely pursue it, and you shouldn't let your age deter. Because even with acting, like, we can't just have all kids. Like, we need parents, we need grandparents, we need the elderly neighbor, we need the midlife woman going through a crisis, we need, you know, somebody who just got married. So it's not all about being young, you know?
Well, speaking of all of that, just balancing and being successful, episode 3, you know, Gabby, she's going to school first day. Mom is stuck in the studio with this girl, Layla, who was a mess throwing up in the studio.
Layla is wild.
And she's missing precious moments. Like, she could have took a break, I feel like, and maybe like, hey, I'll be back in an hour, because I'm sure they get lunch breaks. I don't know. I think in the studio you're supposed to catch a vibe, and like you don't want to like dip off, and I don't know.
It's just one of those things where I feel like she was trying to take one for the team, because a lot of times you do get that artist that wants all of your attention, that takes a long time to record, and you don't want them to feel disrespected if you leave on them, you know, but it's hard.
You don't want your
It's gotta
child
be-
to feel
I was about to say, it's gotta
unwanted.
be hard when you're trying to balance between paying the bills and then being there for sentimental moments. Like, I think it was a bit neglectful that she didn't put down her foot and say, I'm gonna go be there for my daughter. You guys hold this down for me for an hour, like you said, and I'll be back.
Because she just had to drop her off. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah.
But
just
she
being
is
there.
big though. Like, now speaking on the other side, do she need a princess, someone to drop her off? Like, this is not kindergarten, boo.
No,
you going
but
to 7th grade
if
or
this
whatever.
is her first day of school, I mean, what I love about the way that they've written this character is I think that she is an example of what a lot of women face, is this balance between being super successful and being at the top of your game, but also being there as a mom. And I know that men go through it too, but I think that there's another layer of pressure, especially she's going through puberty. She's gonna meet a boy for the first time. Like, she wants to be there for her daughter, and it's always such a balance. And I think they do a good job of showing kind of the toll that it takes on her.
And the sacrifice.
The sacrifice.
Because it's
yeah.
weird. Like, I came up in the music business from being a teenager into my 20s, my early 20s. And they always teach you not to have the family life. It was almost like embedded in us. Like, you got to choose. You're either married to the music, or you want to be married to having a boyfriend in a regular life. And it now it's more prevalent. Like, you see women on stage pregnant, in videos pregnant, doing their thing, like having newborns. Beyonce had twins and bounced right back. But there was a time where that was kind of cliche. That was taboo. Like, you wouldn't do that. So it's a big sacrifice. And I'm interested to see how she's gonna make this work, because they don't normally work hand in hand. It's two different lifestyles. Like, you up all night, you know, a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs around. So,
Well, Carmen, she did say that when they moved to London, that it was supposed to slow down their career. This was to raise her. So it's like they're trying to get their foot in so they can have some kind of income. But now it's like it's taken over by storm. Everything
it's their nature, it's their habit, chasing that dollar. They're hustlers.
And I'm sure people are always, like, you see the agents always calling David. I feel like people are always wanting a piece of them. That's kind of I guess the drawback of being successful is everybody wants your time, and you have to be really picky about who gets your time, because you're always going to disappoint someone. It's a matter of who you choose to disappoint, you know?
Yeah. So we get into like the dynamic of Gabrielle and Charlie. So she's coming around. She's accepting him now. Do we feel like he's a good choice to watch over her, or does it really matter like what he does? Because he's kind of like just watching her, right? Or is he someone set in place that could be something like a mentor? Because her parents are the ones that are successful, and he's kind of struggling.
I think he's a good fit. I think he's witty enough, and he doesn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't mind giving her the hard advice and giving it to her exactly how she needs to get it. So I think the balance is going to work perfectly, and she naturally has that boss thing about her that is going to whip him into shape too.
Yeah.
So we get to see some of that.
Yeah, I think they play off each other very well. I mean, she's kind of become his manager in a funny way.
But then she was kind of hating on him, talking about, oh, he's my manny, like to David Guetta or whatever.
Well, that was early on, but now I think she's kind of invested.
She's clearly a narcissist in the making. Like, she is clearly a little baby narcissist, but narcissists normally happen because they are neglected in some sort of way in their childhood. They feel an empty space, and they have to fill it with like a overly inflated ego. You know, so I think that's what we're seeing, like a little baby narc.
Yeah. And they see how out of control she is. She's making people quit left and right. Charlie even quit.
She fills herself with other people's pain because she's in pain. So she hurts people.
But how are they going to get a hold on her? Like, the therapy, like, it's like she figures out what the therapist is saying to her. Like, she's so, like, her IQ is so high.
I think that Charlie's going to play a big role in that. I think he obviously is, in a way, humbling her. He takes her to the greenhouse, introduces her to his family, shows her another life that shows her, like, listen, what you have, you don't have to have. There's a lot of people that don't. And I think he also gives her insight into her father because obviously her parents aren't around. And I think it's great to see, you know, Charlie kind of telling her, hey, your dad was not always this big actor. Your dad was this goofy kid in school that used to get beat up.
Like you are now. Like, okay, speaking of that, so she's in school. She's trying to make friends, makes a few enemies because, you know, either they accept you or they kind of the mean girls to you, I guess, and so to speak. So she's getting the mean girl side. She's getting a taste of her own medicine. So how do you think she's handling the school situation?
I knew it was going to kind of go that way. I just, in my head, I was like, she's going to go to school and she's going to have a hard time. I did think it was interesting that I would have thought her getting in trouble, I didn't think it would shake her the way that it did. Like, I thought she would have been more like the boy that was just kind of like, you know, I got this figured out. Just even when you go back to her parents disciplining her, like, she already had the formula figured out and she was like, nothing's going to come of this. But I thought it was interesting that she got in trouble and she really was, like, upset about it. So I thought that was really cool.
I took it that she was upset because her parents weren't there for her. Like, bad enough her mother... Like, she's like, don't call my parents. I don't want them to get in trouble. But then the fact that she called and then she felt abandoned in that moment, I think that's why she had a panic attack.
You know what I think it was? She really didn't do it on purpose. She really didn't hit the lady on purpose. So it's like, you're getting accused, you're getting kicked out of school. And I'm like, but I didn't mean to hit you.
Right. But you know what? It was like, it catches up with you. You know what I'm saying?
Karma,
like,
girl,
You needed to learn that lesson.
Your karma,
It's time.
You know?
You was too nasty to too many people. Now you got caught at school.
Yeah.
So, so talking in the office, she meets a boy. This is, I guess, now she's like, got her eye on him because he's like cool and in trouble like her.
And the smart mouth, all of that.
Yeah. So I think something's gonna go down with them. I don't know.
I think she finally got a BFF.
Yeah. So they hung out a little bit. What do you think about her getting a bad influence? Because Charlie's there supposed to block all that.
I think it's good for her. She needs a friend.
But a little boy?
He said he was gay, right?
I don't remember him saying that.
I thought oh, my bad. But I thought he said he was.
Oh, well, maybe we need to play that back. Anybody
Y'all
in
let
live
us
chat
know,
yeah. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in each and every week to make us the ESPN of TV Talk. This is an episode of Turn Up Charlie. We're talking about Netflix shows. We do binge shows. We do reality. We do wrestling. We do everything. So if you want to get more, all you have to do is subscribe. Show us some love. Comment, like, thumbs up. If you're listening on iTunes, 5-star rating. We love being hosts here because we get to watch all our favorite shows and talk about it. So that's why I love it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It kind of, the fact that he's such a negative influence, and I guess I wasn't familiar with what I assume they were selling drugs. Or, I don't know what they were doing. But to
What
me,
are they doing all that?
I don't know.
what they were putting in the ice cream cones, it was something they weren't like, it was the ice
They
cream.
were spiking the cone.
It was something they were doing, but I was
missed
like,
that part.
yeah, I was kind of nervous because I was like, that could catch up And A, I mean, that's a really negative influence, but B, that could also bite Charlie in the butt later, because if she gets caught in something like that,
I
it's
didn't
pretty
see
big.
that.
It was something silver that they were putting in the ice cream cones when they were selling it to people. And like even the line, it was all adults. Like there was something that they were selling.
Wait, how long? What age does this school go to? Because is he a little bit older? He's not that much older than her.
He seems like he could be about 12, 13.
Yeah,
Okay.
middle school.
Yeah, he looks a little older. As long as she don't get no R. Kelly age, dude. She'll be all right.
I don't even think that's her boyfriend. I think that's just a friend.
But that's how it works. That's how it ends up being your boyfriend.
Time will tell.
Time will
If he's
tell.
gay.
I think they're gonna go on a date.
She's too young to date. No.
These kids, look at her sneaking out the
She's
house.
like
She's sneaking
11.
out the house. What's she doing? You already breaking rules. So what you? Speaking of that, we'll get into that later. Speaking of going on dates and stuff, so the dad surprises Sarah with a getaway, and they need to spend time together. And I mean, she's not a baby, so it's not like, you know, when you have a baby, you need to reconnect after the baby and all that. I don't know. Like, I think it's just a combination of their careers and the girl, because they barely have time for her, so they don't have time for each other. How is this working?
I think the other thing too is, remember when they were doing yoga, the woman, when they were doing yoga, the mom, I can't think of her name right now, but the mom, she was just talking about like the unfaithfulness, and then David chimed in, and then we find out, oh, there was some actual like, you know, cheating going on. So I think that we'll find out more about what the couple's relationships are, and even like when Gabby was, you know, texting on the note what she wanted to say to the parents, she kind of hinted at them needing to reconnect and have a strong base. So I think that there is going to be more to their relationship, and there's actually more they're working on and why they're disconnected than I think we realize.
Even though they're disconnected, I think they still want to be with each other. Like, I don't think they're at a point where, like, I hate you, I want a divorce. I think they're just kind of like, you know what? I miss hanging out with you. Like, we were tight. Like,
It's a lifestyle, too. Like, she's a music producer. He's a movie star. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we
Stuff
ended on a
gonna happen.
cliffhanger, too. Well, not a real cliffhanger, but kind of a cliffhanger, like, oh, this movie, you know, leave London, you know, so, I don't know, we'll see.
Well, your boy got in the studio.
Finally.
So, he had some free time from taking off from being a nanny. How you think those bars are for Idris? You like those songs he's doing?
I mean, I like it for what it is.
Okay, we're not talking real life, I guess. I'm thinking in real life. What about like the show? How do you feel about him
excellent.
taking it there, but at the same time he goes off on the producer?
Because he's feeling insecure and inadequate and old and washed up.
Well, he's
So
not
all of
taking
this-
direction. He
all
won't
of this
listen.
new, that's his ego. All of this new technology and everything is making him feel even older and even more washed up. Now you got this woman. I love the fact that they have these women in charge of this music business stuff. Like, very rarely do you see like the woman producer, the woman engineer, the female manager. I think is awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe that's representing a change in the time where back when he was doing it, it was very, very, very male dominated. So now you have this woman who's telling you what to do, who knows how to work all of the equipment, who knows the language that you don't know how to work, and it made him defensive. Only because he was feeling weak.
I can't stack.
Like, what is a stack? Like, layer your vocals. Sorry.
It made me think of like trying to teach my grandmother how to use, you know, social media. At
That's
some
so
point,
funny.
it can get, if they're not open to it, it can
Yeah.
get frustrating. And they're like, I'd rather have the rotary in, right? You know.
Yeah,
Talking
I'm
about
so
blue.
thankful. My
Yes, that.
granddad, he loves to FaceTime. He's like 85. He likes to FaceTime me.
It is so cute when my mom uses emojis and they actually make sense. I'm like, what you know about emojis, Mom? You know? But yeah, he got to learn some new. It's frustrating. He's frustrated. He probably used to be the man, and now he's not feeling so much like the man. So
Yeah, pride.
it was childish.
Yeah.
It also was a reflection of Gabby and him. Like him having that attitude and him not being able to take direction and stuff. You know, so that was a cool little mirror.
I don't know. Do you think he's gonna let Gabby run wild and do whatever she wants to do, or you think he's gonna like teach her some hard lessons?
I think he's the right medicine for her. I think they're good for each other.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a symbiotic relationship. I think they're both going to learn from each other and grow. I hope anyway.
Well,
because she's going to teach him he's going to teach her some empathy.
Yeah.
And then she's going to teach him how to boss up. That's what I get from them.
I hope so. So you think he's going to give it another shot in the studio and try to get it right?
It looks like it. Because she finessed him a little deal at his gig with this strange little man, wherever he's from. And then it actually, the song, when the mom sees him in the studio, it actually piques her interest. But I'm worried. I hope that she doesn't do anything sneaky because the music business is trifling. And I know that she's looking for a hit for this girl because this girl is like the truth, wherever they're from, London or whatever, in England, wherever they're from, in Europe. She's a big European star. So I'm hoping that she's not thinking about stealing the song from him. That's what I hope. But, you know,
you never know.
it's just a show. Yeah, you never know.
They're big enough to have the lawyers on deck, though. They'll get it taken care of. I hope.
Well, she is, but Charlie isn't.
Yeah.
Well, they gonna help him, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of thought
Do
that
y'all think
too.
he gonna get on the feature?
Did you get that vibe a little bit?
I did, because when she was listening to the song, she looked like she was thinking, but I couldn't figure out what it was. It wasn't clear what was going on in her head. All we know was she just suddenly was like, oh, let's work on it. And then later on, we see her kind of hurt by the fact that him and Gabby are working together. So I think time will tell what's really going on there.
And I don't even know if it was like hurt more so that they were working together. It was more so hurt that she doesn't have the time. Like, I'm pretty sure she would love for that to be her and her daughter.
Yeah.
She don't even have the time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why she was looking at those photos, like reminiscing, like, man, I don't have time.
Right.
Like, life is passing you by. Like,
it's a little sus for me right now. It's up in the air. Like, I don't know if she shot it down a little bit to shake his confidence because she was a little jealous, or if she's really thinking that he could be good with some help and that he might be what she needs too, like, to help her production. I don't know. We'll see though. It's good.
yeah, when somebody's that good, like
twist.
she's making like Billboard hits, so she's not gonna just put anybody on a song. So she's making them work for it. I think she's right about that. But somebody's got their eye on Charlie.
Eric got
They
steamy.
like Charlie.
He got steamy.
I like Charlie too, but I don't like those dance moves. But what do you think?
Have fun. Have fun.
I think it's so interesting because last week Tehran and I were talking and I was like, I think she has a thing for him, but it was not clear. And this episode, I was like, confirmed.
Oh, absolutely
You know,
confirmed.
she was giving him the side eye, like, I'm trying to help you keep your job, okay? So we can hang out.
Right. I need you around.
Right. You're going to get paid and we're going to hang out.
Yes.
I don't know. I was like, I think she has a thing, but I'm just not sure. You have this rough exterior, or not rough, but like kind of harsh exterior. She's a manager, so she has to be. But in this episode, I was like, now we know. But it'll be cool to see how that affects Charlie too.
He needs a good woman that understands what's going on with him. Yeah.
Get him out of the aunt's house.
Because the aunt's house is hilarious. When he tried to bring that girl home, and what was the first episode, and his cousin was still in the room, I cried. I was like, get out.
I wasn't even going. And why invite somebody into all of that? That's what I don't understand. I wish I was here for that, but yeah, they wrong for that. That's why she ran up out of there. But anyway, let's get into our special segment. I want to talk about the aha moments you guys had. Aha! I like that. Just a moment that you was like, oh, I see what they did there. You know what I mean? Or the character had a moment. Give me your moment of episode 3 and 4.
We kind of touched on the ones that I noticed, but the aha moment was when the mom realized that she's missing out on a whole lot. When she saw Charlie and Gabby connecting in the studio, she had an aha moment when she went in the room and she saw all of her pictures taken down and all of these new friends and stuff evolving. I think she's afraid that she's becoming too disconnected from her child. My other aha moment was when Charlie just thought he was washed up and just maybe not good enough, and he was just feeling a lack of confidence. And then Gabby shows him her Instagram, and everybody is saying how much they love his song, and it just rekindled that spark in him to let him know he does
Wait
have
a minute.
it.
That what you said right there. He looked at Instagram and felt better with his life. Why didn't you feel better at first? Like, why are we making Instagram our life validation? Like,
because you know why
my
he doesn't have access to people's thoughts. He doesn't know what people are thinking about him. He just feels
but
like
how do us as people do we look at Instagram like, oh my God, if they don't like my picture, then I'm ugly today? No, you're gonna look in the mirror and say, I love my curls today. Like,
That's
I'm
true.
I
beautiful
think it was
today.
more about like because people can be brutally honest on the internet because they have that screen, you know. But I think it was more of a just like, hey, you have a fan base, a dedicated fan base. Don't, like you were saying, like don't count yourself out. People still love your music, you know. I think it was more of because sometimes social media can be an encouragement. You shouldn't find your validation there. I agree, but you can find encouragement there too.
yeah, I don't think it's anything wrong. If it was a blog or I mean it's the age of technology, right? So it's like the gift and the curse. Like we can't get away from it. It's just the way we are connected socially is through technology now, unfortunately. There was a time where we went out coffee shops and talked and hung out and all that, but now it's like everything is so accessible through your phone.
But I feel like the most successful people don't run their Instagram. They may look at it, but Beyonce's not looking at Instagram. Jay-Z's not looking at Instagram. Kanye.
But he's not there yet. He's at the washed up. I need a confidence boost stage.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, he is not and Beyonce.
Right, he's not there yet.
But you'll never get there. That's what I'm saying. Too focused on the wrong things.
I don't know. I liked it.
It wasn't like he asked for that. She just brought that to him. So it wasn't like he was looking and was like, I want likes. Like
The
she
whole
brought it
thing
to
about
him.
his character, like, remember when he was like, you need to make a friend. And was it him that was saying you need to make a friend? And she was like, he was like, go to school, ask for the number. And she was,
Oh yeah,
boop, boop, boop,
yeah.
done. It's something that he thought would take him a day and a half to do. She accomplished in like 30 seconds. Friend
Because
request.
he's still
boom.
old school.
Right, that's the whole point.
Why
She's
won't-
showing him that it's a new way. Like he wanted the analog record. You know what analog recording is? It's like the
I
old
wasn't
school
born then.
when you watch exactly like the big two reels in the background that like record like this. There's no digital anything. It's like actual tape that you're recording on. Like this dude needs an upgrade. Like he needs an Instagram. You know, he needs to snap into the future, you know?
Like maybe that, yeah. Especially him being a DJ, him trying to get into the music scene. Like you do need that following. You know, people look at that. But the good thing is that she, as his manager, came to him and brought it to him and was like, "Listen, you have a fan base. Get it together."
Exactly. He needs that. He needs a kick in the butt. And he needs to like understand because obviously he's in the show a bit of a slacker.
I was going to say, I think he does
You know?
try.
I think it's a little
He
bit.
tries.
He tries, but he lives with his auntie.
I mean, he fell on hard times. I mean, I wouldn't go
job.
to the auntie house with him.
I mean, that
but,
happens
like,
though. Like it's ups and
Yeah.
downs in life, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge his character for that. But I think he could use a little. I think it was good that he saw
I think
those
the
people
auntie
talking
gives him
good about
enough
him.
lip. Now, I don't think he want to stay there. Like, I think that's enough right there to get where he's like, yeah, I got to take this Manny job and do whatever I got to do to get up out of here. So I think he's doing what he got to do.
I don't know. I think he's still trying to impress his parents, and I think if he didn't have that burden of, I think he said he was going to buy their new stove or something like that. I think if he didn't have his parents as a burden, I don't know if he'd be so rushed to get off her couch. Because she said, like, he can't keep a job. Like, at some point...
Because you're so creative. Do y'all know that? Okay, we're creatives here.
Yes.
I know I'm not meant to work a regular job. I don't know if I could. Like, I did
haven't worked
it
a
in
nine to-
college.
I don't even know when the last time I worked a 9 to 5.
I get it. You don't have to do a 9 to 5, but something. Like, she's like, you go from job to job. Like, if you got to pay the bill somehow.
Yeah.
You know, like, even if you're doing Uber or Lyft, whatever, like,
Yeah.
you got bills to pay. You're, what, 40? However old Charlie is. He's not, you know.
Charlie is
It was
clearly in his
somebody,
late
you know
40s.
what, speaking of this has nothing to do with the show, but Uber, They said Jaheim drives Uber now. Do y'all remember Jaheim, the singer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Life Jennings was like clowning him on Instagram, saying Jaheim drives Uber.
Well, maybe it'll turn out for him like it did for, what's his name, Jeffrey, who worked at Trader Joe's. Like, maybe this is a blessing in disguise.
Exactly. Stop clowning people because they get their coin.
I don't clown anybody for getting your coin because times are rough. And that's that thing about Instagram. Everybody wants to pretend like they sit at home and do nothing, yet they're so fabulous. And that's just not the way. You don't excel doing nothing. Like, I don't know at what point life became fabulous and glamorous if you don't work. But working is a sign of dedication and hard work, that you care about yourself. That's self-love.
Passion. You got a passion in life.
Yeah, if you get up and go work at McDonald's, you know how much you love yourself to go do that? Like, that means pride aside, I'm going to do what I have to do for myself and my family. You know, so I don't knock it. Let it get tight for me. I'm in the lift.
That's what you gotta do.
Toot, I'm here. You know, 5 a.m. in the morning. You know, and that's what it is. I feel like, that's what you need for self-esteem. You gotta put that pride aside and do what it is that you need to do. So if he's driving a Lyft, God bless him. I hope he gets all the great tips. I hope people are extremely excited.
And he sing to him in the Uber.
Yeah, I hope people are extremely excited when they meet him. I wish I would have walked into Trader Joe's and seen Jeffrey. I would have lost it. I would have lost it. I would have been so excited. I would have asked for, a signature.
He seemed like one of those people that be like, no pictures. Like, that's probably why they took the picture of him. Because he seemed like one of those, like, no. People,
knows?
I mean, he's entitled to know.
Right.
But he just seemed like he would be one of those. But I want to reel it in, Princess. What is your aha moment? Or did you have some more? Did you have others?
No, that was one of mine too.
I talked about one of them earlier, which was when the manager had Hot Manny on her phone. I was like, aha! You do have a thing for him. The other piece was...
So do you think, let's get into that, do you think it would make sense to get with him, or do you think that would be a mess because of the work situation? Because what if, just that work closely situationship?
I think it depends on what happens with the mom, because right now I think their worlds are so separate. But if he ends up working with the mom, I think, and kind of going from there, I think that's when it would become a conflict of interest. Right now, I think they're just so removed, especially since the mom is not in the daughter's life.
But he wants to work with her in the studio, so the manager's gonna book it. So she's mad. Oh, no studio time for you, boo. Nope.
I mean, he could kind of, he could, or he could blow up and kind of go off and do his own thing. So.
If he turned her down, she could do the same thing, because some women can't handle rejection. She's like, oh, you don't want to date me? You're definitely not getting in the studio.
She seemed like the player type, though. She seemed like she would keep it moving.
Yeah.
He might get mad.
But you remember in Boomerang how Robin Given did? She was like, oh, I want to get a taste. And then she felt a certain kind of way when he got Halle Berry.
That's true.
So I'm just saying it's always going to be an issue that arises in the workplace and you sleeping with someone there. That's what I feel.
Well, the good thing is that it's her boss is ultimately in charge. So as long as it doesn't get to the top, because even if she's like, I'm not going to book your studio time, it's the mother's studio. So
exactly, she's
really
paying the bills.
Right. So we'll find out. I'm excited to see what happens between them.
All right.
My other one was going back to the yoga piece. I thought it was interesting that that David's mind automatically went to their actual cheating moment when she brought up unfaithfulness. So I would love to dig into that and find out, wait a minute, maybe there is something there for him. So that's kind of my secret aha, but let's see what happens with it. So yeah, that's my second one.
Okay, well, I was kind of thinking about aha in the sense of what we were talking about earlier, when is it too late? Is it ever too late to follow your dreams? And I definitely like to encourage people of all ages to do that. So I don't really think it's too late, but it's almost like when it's the entertainment field, you do have to have a lot of energy, or you have to have some kind of something that draws me to you. And I don't think Charlie has it. He don't have it. You know how Michael Jackson had the it factor, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, these people have it factor. He needed it factor because he was it back then, but now you got to compete with somebody that can do a song in 2 minutes, and you're still trying to make something in
So I think
too complicated.
This show is a good picture of why everything happens for a reason. Because his family really has everything that he needs. It is his best friend that he's reconnecting with. And I think it's going to be the perfect positive influence at the perfect time to help him get his life together. Because it's time. It's time for Charlie to turn up.
Yeah, definitely, to get out of this woe is me place and let go of the past and see what's available to him in the future, like what he has coming.
Depression is real. Like, you get a #1 hit and then you can't back it up. And you start to feel like super lost. Like, you know, I can relate to that sentiment, you know, of having to back up something that really was a big moment for you and you just can't get it back for whatever reason, you know. So I don't know, I think this is perfect for him.
Yeah, I think there's so many ways that you can turn it around. It's so many ways that you can, and I think as long as you have that encouragement inside of you, you'll create a way.
Because that cousin isn't it. That weed smoking cousin, that wake and bake cousin, is gonna have him lazy.
She don't even yell at him as much. Like, why is that?
Yeah.
Why don't she yell at him as much?
Maybe because she knows that Charlie has potential.
Yeah.
He was on top before, so it's there. He just has to rediscover it.
Exactly. Great point.
So she thinks Charlie's her meal ticket? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if it's meal ticket. I think it's just she knows that he's capable of more, but he's not living up to that. And that can be really frustrating to watch, especially a close relative like that. Like, that's really frustrating.
Those are the ones you're hard on, the people that you know have the potential and aren't using it. Those are the ones you're more hard on than someone who, you know, they may not be equipped to climb to the same heights. You know,
he's gonna be a sidekick for life.
I don't think she's looking at him as a meal ticket. I think she wants him to get up out her house.
Yeah, I think he wants the same thing. I don't think he wants to be there. I don't think he's comfortable there. Like, he want to be able to have a girl. You know, he's an attractive man. He don't want to be going to auntie house and stuff. So I don't know. But I had another aha moment when we talked about Gabriella at school and she had the mean girl in the bathroom. They were talking about her. Mom and parents, they were like giving the scoop and she was in a stall and she pops out like confrontational. Like, I don't care if you're talking about me. I think she's very strong and can handle herself, but at the same time, you gotta, what they say, catch flies with honey.
Yeah.
I think she's a little too hard, but I think at that moment she kind of realized, oh, this isn't going to be as easy as I thought, just because my parents are, you know, get treated like royalty everywhere else she goes. Like, she gets everything laid out.
Yeah.
So
I thought that moment, you're in middle school. It's an insecure time. I think that moment really showed her insecurity because she came out and she's like expecting them to be talking about her folks. And they're like, actually, we're not, and we don't care about you. So I thought that showed, I think you talked about it earlier.
I thought they were lying.
I think they were lying. They were absolutely talking about
her.
They got caught.
Specific.
Yeah, they got caught, and they just wanted to curb her in any way they possibly could.
They lying.
I don't know, maybe.
Because it's like, who's going to admit it? Like, yeah, I was talking about your mom. And she's supposed to be like the head, like, girl over the school.
Yeah, the mean girls. The mean girls.
No, she was like over the student council or something. Because remember, she was passing out the brochure. So she can't be known as like talking stuff about people.
I don't know. She started off that way.
She is the lead of the mean girl. She is the gang leader. Okay.
Yes, she's with Regina George from Mean Girls.
Oh yeah,
she is Regina.
Did y'all have an instance like that in school where you had to like try to fit in? Because I was like a loner.
Yeah, I had that. I went from private school to public school, and I took gymnastics, and posture was together, and I went to a rough inner city school where I had to and I was bullied at first. I really was treated mean. And then one day on the playground, the wrong person said the wrong thing to me and I lost it. And we got in a fight and I beat him up. And I think after that happened,
nobody messed with
people were like, they still kind of messed with me, but they were kind of like, we only gonna take it but so far. And then I had to learn how to confuse people. I laughed. When they laughed at me, I laughed too. And they were like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be hurting your feelings. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not. You know, and then eventually, once you beat somebody psychologically, everything else feels stupid. And then once they see that you can hold your own, hold your ground, they see you're not as weak. Because a lot of times, kindness is taken for weakness. So once they realize that you aren't as weak as they presume, or you aren't going to be the person that just takes it laying down, things kind of change. You know, it's like you got to earn your respect in some scenarios.
So you think Gabriella earned her respect when she came out the bathroom? Like, to hold herself down, like, by confronting them?
Not yet, because she hasn't beat them at their own game yet.
Yeah, I agree. I think just that time is just, you're going through puberty and you don't really know who you are. And especially with her, she doesn't have that affirmation from her parents, especially from her dad, which I think is really important. So I think that she's gonna struggle. And I went through that too. Like, you just go through this really insecure phase and you're just like not sure of yourself, of the world around you. It's like, you think that you're grown, but you're also a child, that weird in-between state. So I definitely went through that. I think it's normal.
But is bullying normal? Because, I mean, I feel like it was some people that maybe didn't like me for whatever reason, but I don't think they would, like, torture me every day.
Hey, I didn't get tortured. I just got messed with. You know, like, I just got teased, or there's this pride with her. Let's pick with the new girl who's all proper and had really long hair, and you know, like, I think they were more so trying to break me to find out what I was made of. It wasn't like a bully, like, give me your lunch money type of thing. It wasn't like that. It was just mean kids being mean, kids calling you names, kids poking at you.
That. Or maybe I was the mean one. I don't know.
I think it depends. I think it depends on, like, bullying can look differently. Like you said, sometimes it's not always give me your lunch money. Sometimes it's every day they mock you. Like, we had some kids in our school that everyone comes from different households and not everyone can afford the same thing. And so every time these kids got a chance, they would bring up the fact that this person's shoes didn't have a particular name brand. So I think bullying has always existed, but it's just in different forms. And even now you have the cyberbullying.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's even worse. I'm so glad I didn't grow up in that time.
Imagine? No.
Putting up stuff on the internet that will never go away. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we came out of that time in frame, but we do have a little bit of news and gossip. You know, Idris stays working, so tell us all about it, Princess.
Yeah, so it's just been announced that Idris is joining the cast of Mouse Guard. It's going to be a new motion caption film starring Andy Serkis. It's based on a comic from Boom Studios, and so I'm excited to see it. It seems like it's going to be a different role for Idris, something that caters to a younger crowd. I mean, he was in Zootopia and a couple other things, but I think this is really going to be cool. I think it's his first motion capture project, so good for him.
Yeah, I'm really a fan of Idris's work. Pretty much everything he's done, I pretty much like.
And this is his show, right? Like, he wrote and produced this show? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Trying new things, being a DJ, writer, EP, all that motion capture.
Yeah. Is he still getting married?
I think so.
Oh, that sucks. Whatever.
I think so. I think he's getting married.
Well, let us know what you think about the show. Just like, comment, subscribe. And I think this is about it for us today. Do y'all have any closing predictions? Well, I kind of think it's kind of weird to do predictions on a show that we...
Well, I haven't seen anything yet. But
I haven't seen the end of it yet.
I'm going to predict that Gabby has something up her sleeve for those girls, and they haven't seen the last of Gabby yet. And I think her new friend, might have something to do with it. Or that one of them end up feeling weak, and maybe she ends up having, like, making friends with them when one of them get a dose of their own medicine, maybe through another occurrence, you know, maybe she'll be like, see, it's not cool to treat people like that. Yeah. You know, so that's my prediction with Gabby and her school friends.
Okay.
I think I spy with my little eye.
We need our prediction music, though.
I think you played it.
Woo, there we go. I feel like I got the glow. I need it. Predict some stuff. It will come to you now.
It will come to me now. It helps. I think that part of me was thinking after this situation between the Charlie and the manager that it might just be a fling. But I personally want it to grow, and I want him to fall in love. So I'm going to predict that because that's what I want to see.
Is it going to be that lady?
Yeah, the manager. Yeah, I think right now it seems like it could be a fling, but I want it to grow.
Yeah, I think it's totally going to be a fling, but that's only because I like Idris in real life. But anyway, I predict Gabby's gonna still have trouble at school, but she's gonna end up telling Charlie, and Charlie's gonna help her like be cool and do something to one up the girls, and then she's gonna be in charge.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So we'll see what happens, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to us each and every week. You can follow us on the other shows that we do. You can catch up with me. I'm your host, Miss Conversation Piece. I have Twitter, MISS Convo Piece, and Instagram, MISS Conversation Piece. And I do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, premiering tomorrow. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy. Hey guys, I'm Carmen. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at king_karma_. That's Karma with a C. I also host Black Ink Crew New York and Chicago, and I do Love at First Sight and also The Village, which is a great new show on NBC. Y'all should check that out. It's great.
Cool. You guys can find me on Instagram at Princess Carroll TV. I'm also on the panel for World of Dance, The Voice, and Project Runway All Stars. So all the art shows.
I wanted to do Project Runway. I was supposed to, but I have a class. So
all right, maybe she can come check y'all out one time.
Enjoy that. Go Bish Me.
Yes, that's our show, you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.